You already know what it is today. It's Update Monday! What's going on with ya, big dog? And it is an amazing Monday. I hope that you are having an amazing Monday, and if you are not, don't let what happened in the beginning of today ruin the rest of today. Speaking of such, this Monday marks the 1 to 3rd month plus the 1 to 3rd week of kicking rheumatoid arthritis' ass. I am so fortunate to be in this particular situation because, in case you did or did not know, rheumatoid arthritis is a crippling disease where your immune system attacks itself. Me being able to even walk down these stairs feels like a feat from time to time because there were times I just couldn't. I have to say I owe my good fortune to not only being diagnosed early, addressing the problem with not only medication, working out, but also having not only the support of close friends and family. Of course, I had you by my side, and it's been the world to me. But just because we are 3 months and 3 weeks strong in this thing, don't mean that we actually stop looking for other ways to be able to prevent RA from flaring back up. Sometimes I do have tingling sensations in my hands, sometimes in my feet, and me and Sabrina are actually looking at increasing the intake of my folic acid, or taking folic acid. I don't know, it's something that a doctor recommended. I'll be able to, of course, update you on that, as just like I'm going to be updating you on the new meta counter guide. That's right, I know you are excited for the continuation of this series. The Meta Counter Guide is where we talk about some of the top decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! And giving you specifics on not only how to beat them, but where exactly should you be using certain cards to beat them. One thing I am dumb excited about is not only to tell you how to beat these decks, but for you to actually implement these strategies and come back at me and be like, hey, Callie, this shit fucking worked. So without further ado, let's jump on in so we can talk about how to beat some of these meta decks. So, you need help with beating possibly the best deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Uncle Callie got you. One of the strongest strategies in the Burst of Destiny set is actually projected to be one of the strongest strategies in Yu-Gi-Oh! As Swordsoul almost mimics Sky Strikers and Zodiacs alike, being able to essentially make one card synchro summons by special summoning a token by revealing or discarding, doing something with a Worm or Swordsoul card. Now, since this deck is virtually filled with one card enablers, you would think that stopping that one card would be really easy, making the deck extremely fragile. I hate to say it, but the answer is yes and no. Seeing that the deck does play quite a bit of extenders and ways to keep playing forward is not always your best bet. But what you really don't want to do is not hand trap the right cards, because then you're going to be in a, oh no, what are you doing, baby situation. With that being said, the best way to beat Swordsoul currently is to stop your opponent's Swordsoul normal summons. Swordsoul Tia and Muyi both allow them to make that free Synchro 8 that they covet. Being able to use cards like Infinite Impermanence and Effect Veiler on those cards, seriously, use those cards on them as soon as you can, would be huge. Now, I want to put emphasis that you want to stop these Swordsoul monsters. If your opponent does normal summon Incredible Ecclesia, don't try to Infinite Impermanence or Effect Veiler this, you will regret it. The card is a quick effect and then can special summon the Swordsoul monster, and on top of that, you could just always stop the Swordsoul monster anyways. Now, this Swordsoul deck is fairly cheeky, as it can actually make a monster named Xiaofeng of the Yangzing before it starts its Swordsoul normal summons. And basically what Xiaofeng does is that your opponent can activate the effects of monsters with the attribute of Yangzing monsters you use for its synchro summon. The monster in question is going to be Boxia, which happens to be a light monster, meaning that cards like Nibiru and Effect Veiler will become immediately useless. If you are put in this situation, using the Nibiru if you can, or the Effect Veiler on the Boxia is not a terrible situation because there's so many crazy things they can do with Xiaofeng, like destroying it to be able to search another card from their deck to their hand. You don't want them gaining all of that advantage. Now I know what you're thinking, Uncle Callie, what if he just so happens to have the follow-up? Well, Long Yuan is a monster that can't be Effect Veiler or Infinite Impermanence anyways, as this effect activates and resolves in the hand, giving them a free level 10 synchro, but we actually can just deal with the established board. If you just so happen to have cards like Dark Ruler No More or Forbidden Droplet, that's gonna go a long way for dealing with some of Swordsoul's most powerful boards, but one thing you still have to watch out for is Swordsoul Blackout. Swordsoul Blackout is just extremely tricky because it is a trap card, meaning that Droplet or Dark Ruler No More can't respond to it, but just dealing with Blackout as opposed to dealing with your opponent's entire board, is a whole different story. Now, there are some very high impact hand traps that can really hurt the Swordsoul strategy. Sideframe Gear Gamma not only negates the monster effect like Infinite Impermanence and Effect Veiler, but actually gets rid of the threat. That can come up huge. And Token Collector is a monster that you immediately activate the moment they place a token on the field. If you can summon Token Collector to your side of the field and successfully resolve it, you can pretty much have that game on lockdown, as your opponent won't be able to use Synchro Summon, which is something that Swordsoul only does. Now that we're done stealing the soul from Swordsoul, let's actually move on to the strategy that just might be the air beneath someone's wings. The Floowandereeze strategy is not only one of Sabrina's favorite decks, but it's also a strategy that I'm pretty sure is the favorite of a lot others. It is actually projected to be at least a tier 2 deck, and there are some fairly obvious counters to the strategy, but they may not seem so obvious once Floowandereeze players decide to grow, adapt, and evolve. But taking a step back, how the Floowandereeze strategy works is normal summons. Yeah, normal summon to normal summon to normal summon and normal summon. There's a ton of normal summons in this deck. And the funny thing about it is that every single normal summon is a different bird. It reminds me of your Choose Your Fighter, where you get like a penguin and a toucan. Yeah, this is Bird's favorite deck. I mean, her name is Bird. Now, my best advice to be able to stop the Floowandereeze strategy is to ask them one simple thing. Hey, Bird, you like Floowandereeze?
Yeah.
Floowandereeze nuts in your mouth, boy! But if you're going to stop any of Floowandereeze's normal summons, you want to stop the normal summon of Floowandereeze Robin. This is the most important card to the strategy that allows them to get important cards from their deck to their hand. Using the aforementioned Infinite Impermanence and Effect Veiler do wonders, but Ash Blossom and Joy Spring is also a card that does pretty good here. Now, if that was the only thing that you needed to do to stop Floowandereeze from ever being competitive, then we wouldn't be talking about it in this meta counter guide. Good Floowandereeze players have grown, adapted, and evolved. Being able to mainboard Crossout Designator and Book of Moon on top of Call by the Grave gives them 7 ways to stop this single form of disruption. When your opponent does add Rapina, the next card you want to activate is Droll and Lockbird, as this card completely shuts down their entire turn. Seriously, you can activate Droll and Lockbird anywhere. Activate it when they activate Duality, activate it when they activate Prosperity. The main reason is because you can't be punished. They're not going to Sideframe Gear Gamma you, they don't play it. You can be extremely comfortable with this is because they can't play it. They can't special summon if they want to use their Flundereeze, so yeah, just Droll and Lockbird away. Now there is one thing I want to note. Artifact Lancia does prevent them from recovering and will stop cards like Dimensional Shifter, Macrocosmos, and DeFi, cards that Floowandereeze definitely plays. You're going to need something to also be able to address their board, as Rise of the Mega Monarch is a card that you never want to see them summoning, especially if it's on your turn. With that being said, we're going to go to the same mumbo jumbo against Swordsoul. Using cards like Forbidden Droplets and Forbidden Chalice is going to be amazing to be able to respond to them normal summoning on your turn. There's also massive board wipes like Evenly Matched and Lightning Storm that actually do a fairly good job against the Floowandereeze strategy, being able to get rid of their supplementary back row or their monsters on the field. So whenever I think about competitive expensive Yu-Gi-Oh!, I used to think about heroes. And then this deck got support inside of Burst of Destiny, and it might be the most expensive competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Up to date. The Evil Twin Live Twin strategy is built on being able to summon 2 monsters to your side of the field. Live Twin Leela, Live Twin Kisa Kill. This lets them get into crazy shenanigans to be able to install themselves into your computer as malware, because just look up what they're based on. I swear, sometimes I'm just too punny for you guys. I might have to find somewhere to make a new pun space. Now, the Live Twin strategy is one of the trickiest decks to deal with because it's so insanely consistent. With 1-card starters, it can make a Link 4 monster with ease, and the only drawback is that you're stuck into Fiends. That's kind of dope. There's also a lot of easy ways to get lost in how to stop this deck. A lot of players will use their Infinite Impermanence or Effect Veilers on side of the Live Twin monsters. That is an extreme, oh no, what are you doing, baby? What are you doing? Do not do that. Please, if you want to win games, don't do that. The reason why this is an idea you should never entertain is because Live Twin Sunny Snitch will allow them to add Kisa Kill Frost or Leela Treat from their deck to the hand, whichever one is more convenient, and they'll summon it to their side of the field and continue on with their play. If you do have Infinite Impermanence and Effect Veiler in your hand, what you really want to use them on is the Evil Twin monsters, the monsters to special summon monsters from the graveyard. Now granted, your opponent can still follow up with Live Twin Snitch to be able to search the appropriate monster to summon to their side of the field and continue on, but at least you force them to use their Link Monster's effect and basically get no effects on it. This is also much better because it puts your opponent on, you better have this particular card or your turn ends here. As opposed to, oh man, yeah, you want to keep playing Yu-Gi-Oh? Definitely, keep playing Yu-Gi-Oh! My hand trap, I just threw it away for you. Now addressing the Evil Twin inboard is actually fairly simple, especially since it's only one monster and Evil Twin's Trouble Sunny. This is the new boss in town that you're gonna have to deal with. Fortunately enough, I've probably said it time after time again, Forbidden Droplet and Dark Ruler no more are easy outs to this card. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy as my son would say. Go ahead and negate that Trouble Sunny and then continue to play Yu-Gi-Oh! You can always Kaiju the Trouble Sunny if you're playing a deck like B-Troopers Dino or Cyber Dragon, and then you can continue to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Hypothetically, you don't have any of those cards, you really could be in for something, as the opponent can use cards like Torrential Tribute and Nibiru to their advantage, because they'll use them as Chain Link too, and then still be able to special summon their Evil Twin monsters to their side of the field, gain a draw, and a destruction. You really gotta watch out for that. Another card that I found to interact really well with Trouble Sunny is Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. This makes them lose that Trouble Sunny for practically nothing. And while we're here, the last thing I want to talk to you about isn't necessarily a strategy, but it is a Yu-Gi-Oh card that will probably see heavy play in a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh decks. Destiny in Pheonix Destroyer is one of the more powerful cards inside of the Burst of Destiny set, probably the most powerful solo card inside of the set. Its requirements are 1 Destiny Hero monster and 1 level 6 or higher Destiny Hero monster, and I have to tell you, that's laughable. That's not even a requirement. That's, hey, summon me for free, draw 2 cards, and special summon a monster to your side of the field. That's really what it equates to. The powerful spell card Infusion Destiny allows you to send Destiny Hero Celestial and Destiny Hero Dasher from your deck to the graveyard to be able to special summon this monster to your side of the field. Now basically what this card does is that you can destroy a card on your side of the field to destroy another card on the field. It can destroy cards on either side of the field. This means that even when your opponent isn't trashing your cards on your side of the field, they can destroy their own cards and gain some significant advantage. Kind of ridiculous. To add insult to injury, when Enforcer is destroyed, it activates its effect to be able to special summon a Destiny Hero monster during the next turn, which can be himself, so he's an ongoing cycle. Now there are quite a few ways to counter this card. One way is actually player stupidity right now. What a lot of players don't realize is Pheonix Enforcer actually activates when he is destroyed. If your opponent does not declare the activation of Pheonix Enforcer when it is destroyed, well, I mean, you can go that route and be like, yo, you didn't declare, dog, you ain't getting it back. But now that I said that, let's just assume that every single Yu-Gi-Oh player will declare the effect of Pheonix Enforcer upon its destruction. There are quite a few ways to get rid of this card and make sure it never comes back. Ghost Bell in Haunted Mansion is one of them, making sure it doesn't special summon from the graveyard. You can also use DD Crow to prevent himself from being special summoned as well. Keep in mind that they'll be able to special summon Dasher or Celestial to their side of the field, but it would be a little bit better than, special summoning a Pheonix Enforcer, wouldn't it? There's also the trap card that everybody is anticipating on being amazing, because it is, and Dimensional Barrier, preventing this card from ever being fusion summoned, using its effect, or even coming back. I have to say that Pheonix Enforcer seems to be a formidable foe, but not formidable enough for us. Well, that is all that we have for our meta counter guide today. I really hope you enjoyed the meta counter guide. If you did, then go ahead and let me know. But also, if you want to improve on this series, let me know some things that maybe you would like to see improved. It is Monday, so you guys know I am streaming on Twitch at about 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so I hope to see you there. But if not, I'll just catch you on the next video, big dog. Peace out. That sounded weird. Peace out, like I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger or something. Peace out.